Today we are going to be talking about Tarik Skubal and if the Yankees should go out and trade for him.
Yeah, this is something that I'm not necessarily a huge fan of here. 1 year left with Detroit, and then he enters free agency. We know that contract's going to be crazy, and it's basically like this same scenario as Juan Soto. And we were dealing with one of the best hitters in baseball for a year until he enters free agency, and now it's one of the best pitchers in baseball. And to be honest, I mean, part of that is the fact that Juan Soto, we traded for him, went to a World Series with him, and then he still didn't re sign with us. So, whereas before I might have thrown all right, well, he comes to New York, maybe he'll like it. Maybe that would have been in my argument for Skubal if this was 2 years ago. But after the Soto thing, he's going to go wherever he gets the most money. So you're not trading for him to give him, the nice look at New York and help sign him back. You're trading for him to get 1 year and try and win a World Series next year. And you're just going to have to give up a lot. And to be honest, Ryan, after watching Rodon and Max Fried get hit really hard, two starting pitchers that are lefties by the Blue Jays, I don't know if we need another one, right? And I know we'll have Cole there in the mix next year, but I mean, the Blue Jays are going to be a team that we're going to be going back and forth with for the next 3 or 4 years. And especially next year when Skubal would be a Yankee. So I don't know if for how much 1 year of him is going to be worth. I don't know.
Christian, you talked about the Juan Soto deal. The Juan Soto deal, the Yankees made that trade. They went to the World Series. And if you look back on that deal, that trade didn't hurt the Yankees. What they gave up did not hurt them. They actually got Trent Grisham, who was a major contributor this season. Tarik Skubal is a different type of pitcher. I get that adding three lefties to your rotation is not exactly ideal, but when you're adding a left-handed pitcher that's the best pitcher in baseball, I think it's totally different. On the year, he was 13-6, 2.21 ERA. He had 241 strikeouts and 195 third innings pitched. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. And your rotation would be Tarik Skubal, Garrett Cole, Max Fried. Maybe they put Cole at the top because, he's that guy. But I mean, how are you hitting that in the postseason? You could make the argument that you would have three of the top five pitchers in baseball all in your rotation. Carlos Rodon becomes your fourth. Like, this rotation becomes something incredible, unbelievable. And Tarik Skubal, his career postseason record, Christian, 2-1, 2.04 ERA. So I think the Yankees, if you get the right deal to bring in Tarik Skubal, you 100% have to make that deal, right? Aaron Judge is your captain. He's the leader of your team. You are trying to win a World Series. Put the best players around Aaron Judge. If the Yankees end up not winning a World Series in the Aaron Judge era, that would stink. But if they brought in Skubal, they already brought in Soto, at least you could end up saying the Yankees put superstars around Judge to try to get the job done. I think if you're in the position to make this deal for the right price, you absolutely have to do it. The Yankees can, trade some starting pitchers that they have, right? Luis Heel, Will Warren, those are guys that I think you could deal in a trade. Who's to say, though, that the Tigers are even going to trade Tarik Skubal? Now, it was reported that they're like $250 million apart in negotiations, which is absolutely like crazy. But the Tigers still have him for another year. They just went to the playoffs. Who's to say the Tigers can't go out next year and compete and try to win the World Series? You need Tarik Skubal on your team to do that. So there's no guarantee that the Tigers would trade him. And if they do trade him, would they want to trade him in the American League? Who knows? But I think if you have the opportunity to make the deal, you go out and do that. And also, when it comes to free agency, Christian, you said he's going to go to the highest bidder. Yeah, and that's very well the case. He very well could end up doing that. But I think that giving him that 1 year, show New York, if he dominates, Yankee fans love him, Cy Young. I do think that gives you an advantage. Even though Soto signed with the Mets, I still think that that part of it had a big impact on him. And with teams like the Dodgers and the Mets, that have shown they're going to spend more money than the Yankees in recent years, I think you want that little bit of advantage, even if it doesn't end up working out.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the first thing you said, they really didn't give up anything for Soto. This could have been a different team with Michael King for the past 2 years. I'm going to say that. 7th in Cy Young voting in 2024. I know the prospects haven't necessarily panned out, but he is a factor. The Yankees did give him up. And I don't know, it's just you said if the right deal comes around, you take it, and I am 100% in agreement with that. I just don't think there is going to be a right deal because the Tigers don't have to deal him right now. And at the trade deadline, if the Tigers, aren't really contending, sure. That's maybe when the Tigers start to get aggressive and say, all right, we want to ship this guy off because he is not coming back. But this is a Tigers team that still can contend next year. So I think the only way, they really deal him in the offseason is if a team comes to them with an overwhelming offer. And that is what I'm saying Yankees should not do because they do not have to do it. So, in a perfect world with any player, Shohei Ohtani, Mike Trout, if they come to you with the right deal, obviously you trade for them. I don't think there is going to be a right deal for Tarik Skubal, though. So that's kind of where I'm at the position where don't force it. Maybe trade deadline comes and we're talking about it. And then, number one priority next offseason, be a top bidder for this guy because he is elite. One of, if not the best pitchers in baseball.
Yeah, that's why I think the whole left-handed thing is, you kind of throw that away. I mean, he is a left-handed pitcher, but he's the best pitcher in the game. So I think when you have, really good left-handed pitchers, it's not going to matter all that too much, especially if you have Garrett Cole separating them. I am in agreement with you too. I mean, I'm not going to give up the whole farm to bring in Skubal. I'm not going to do anything crazy or something like that. But he would definitely be a guy, if I'm the Yankees, that I'm calling a bunch this offseason trying to bring in. Because I think he could be a real difference maker for the whole regular season and the postseason. I mean, this guy is no joke. He's a stud. He's going to get like 450, 500 something, $1 million, close to that. So if you have the opportunity to bring him in, I think you do that. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But if I was the Yankees, he'd be someone I'd be heavily going after this offseason to try to bring in.
Yeah, and the lefties thing, down the line, if the Yankees were to sign him to a long-term deal next offseason, I'm not really worrying about that. Like Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, who knows how long they'll be pitching for, who knows how long they'll really be successful with the Yankees. But I'm just looking at like next year, and not to say the Yankees lost because of this reason, but their two top starters in the postseason this year faced a Blue Jays team that kills lefties. So, like, running it back next year and then adding another lefty, I just don't think it's something the Yankees need. And, we're probably looking...
Christian, you're not adding another lefty, you're adding the lefty. That's the difference there.
Look, if we could swap out Carlos Rodon with Tarik Skubal, I would do it in a second. But we have Rodon here. We have Fried here for next year. And we have Garrett Cole and Cam Schlittler. So if that's a 4 in the playoffs and they're all healthy, it's great.
Yeah.
Upgrade at other areas this offseason.